Greetings and salutations. Well, I don't know if y'all can tell or not, but Mr. Arnold way back out in the woods. What that crazy guy got going on now? Well, you remember that little place I was talking about, Ravens Cliff? Back over my shoulder, I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a creek that runs right through there. There's these big stone cliffs, right? Limestone. Interesting. And back where it is that this whole little valley through here used to be full of ravens. But that's not why I'm here. You remember me always saying location, location, location? Well, this is one of those times. We've been talking about railroads. What did they use before railroads? They used water, right? So we're down in Ravens Cliff, and back in the, I don't know, probably 433 to 542 million years ago, used to be some rock around here, big rock, scientific rock, you know. Everybody knows it as sandstone, right? Sandstone and limestone, right? And along with that comes minerals. Wait a minute, Mr. Arnold, I thought you said this was a history lesson, not science. Well, can't really have science without history. And you can't have history without science. So, with that being said, you know, you think about the pyramids and how big of rocks they used to build with them, right? Things like that. Well, the reason why I'm really here today is I'm here I'm going to get in the shade because I want you guys to really understand how big this thing is. And then I'm going to walk away from it so you can see. All right? We're actually at, wow, what is that? Is that a cave, Mr. Arnold? No, it's not. It's a furnace. A what? A furnace. Yeah, y'all ready? Let's just walk away. Just so you guys can see. Hopefully the sun won't kill the look of it. Look at that. How big and exquisite that thing is. Now, y'all got to think now. It keeps going and going. Look at that. Now, what was a furnace? What'd they use this thing for? Well, remember I was talking about that sandstone? And there's a lot of iron ore mixed in with it, right? So what did they have to do? They had to build a big, big old fire, right? And I don't know. Let's see if I can get up to them or not. I don't know if you can see them. But there's two big metal bolt-looking things. They look like plates up there on the side. Let's see if I can find one. Oh, there it is. But it's right in there somewhere. And there's one just like it on the other side. And that's what they would put stuff in and get it real, real hot. And as they did, the top of it acted like a big chimney. I ain't going to get in all that part of it, you know, scientific part. But, you know, the furnace, it was built from sandstone, right? And that sandstone was cut from the cliffs over there, right? And it came from the Cambrian to the, good Lord, I can't remember how to say it, but it's something like Ordovician or Ordovican, Dinwiddie. That's another fun word to say. So, you know, and it's millions of years old, and it's part of what they call the Chilhowie Formation. They're like, oh, Mr. Arnold, science, really? Yeah, science. But you might find what is igneous rock. Volcanic rock, right? Interesting. But most of the sandstone for the furnace it's a very fine grains, right? So it made it really, really hard, you know? But occasionally a rare piece of limestone's found, but it did not come from this area. So think about that for a second. We don't have trains down in here. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but here, let me give you a quick look. I mean, it is tight, really narrow right through here. Oh, I hear some people on some rafts or kayaks, I think, coming down the creek. That sounds like fun. Lackadaisical. So, but think about that for a second, because remember, the pyramids, they found out and figured out that a lot of the stone that the pyramid was built with didn't come from that area either. And how did it get there? They think it came by the river, by the Nile, right? So how do you think this rock got here? Cripple Creek. That's what I'm thinking. All right, so back a few years ago, I'm gonna say back about 1810 to about 1857, it was owned, and it was called the Bell and Kincannon Iron Works. So 1810 is when this thing was built. And that thing looks mighty fine to still be standing. That's almost, what is that? That's 110 years it's been standing here. Wow. That's amazing, I think. But it's been known by many different names over the years. Of course, it was a company. It was an iron ore company that owned it, right? But one of the things that I want to touch on is that Ravens Cliff furnace is one of the oldest structures of its kind still standing today. Many other furnaces have totally disappeared, or they've fallen into rubble heaps, But maybe it's a testament, meaning that it's a good word for how Virginians sandstone really was, right? But what I want to get to, what I want to talk about a little bit, is the economy piece of this. You think about that. Ooh, Lord. They had to use the river or the creek to get stuff out of here. They didn't have a rail line in here. And one of the cool parts about this area was back in the Civil War, right? This place was masked, it was hidden away in this little valley. And the way that it's geographically, its physical characteristics are set up, but the mountains close in really tight. So when the wind's blowing, it just kind of funneled it real low. So Northern troops couldn't see the smoke from this place, right? And they would ship the iron out on Cripple Creek. Well, guess what? Water's just like a highway. It's got to go somewhere, right? But that's for another day. But let's get to one last thing. I want to talk a little bit about the environment with this piece too. What kind of environmental impact do you think that this monolith, it's just huge. I wouldn't be afraid to say this thing ain't 30 feet, maybe even 40 feet wide, and probably that tall too. But you know that in a 24-hour period, the furnace could consume on an average of 750 bushels of charcoal, 12 tons of iron ore, and many tons of limestone to only produce 5 tons of iron. And to produce that 750 bushels of charcoal, because that's what they used to temper the metal with, they'd mix that in with it, right? In 24 hours of what they called a furnace blast, it required 19 cords of wood, which means that about an acre of forest had to be cleared every day for this furnace to run. But I just thought it was really cool, of the different things that this one little place had going on. Economically, it created jobs. We talk about the transportation out there, the water. Like I said, water was way before the railroad, or roads for that matter, And then the economic impact. Thankfully, today, this place is protected by a national forest. So it'll never be torn down, which is a good thing, right? And with that being said, if you ever get a chance to come to Ravens Cliff, There's a lot of stuff to do down here. There's picnic tables. You can do some fishing. They even put trout in this place. But talking about that creek reminds me of another thing on down the river. To be continued.